Hello my friends, this is Shelley from Koala Knits and Knacks. Thank you so much for joining me in this tutorial. We are going to make this beautiful beanie. Like, look at it. It's got little squares in it. It matches the infinity scarf that I just posted. So on my channel, click videos and go down and look for the infinity scarf that matches. This is it. I'll just show you real quick. This is the infinity scarf that it matches, and when I made the scarf I thought I can make a beanie to match this. I'm sure I could figure out a pattern, and I did. And you know what, I used the Ogo Colorama in the color Tabby, and for my scarf I needed 1.5 of these, so I used the second half of the second donut to make this beanie. And you know what, all I had to do was steal a little bit of brown from a third one. But if you are just making the beanie, one of these, you'll use half of this. You'll have to separate the colors so that you can do them accordingly like this, but you will get a beautiful, beautiful beanie. You can probably make 2 beanies out of this one Ogo. But if you're making the infinity scarf to go with it, and you have 2 of these, then you might need to steal a little bit of yarn from your stash in your drawer, just to finish it off. Maybe choose a color that matches, and don't go ahead and buy a third one. Just use what you have and add a color and you'll be fine. But this beanie is, oh, I'm so hot, you guys. I'm so hot. It's the middle of summer here. It's like such a hot day. That's why I'm in my shorts and in my tank top. I didn't put on winter clothes to pretend that I made this in the winter. But I am hot from trying to video. Okay, and so this is what it looks like. I love it. I think it looks so cute. Okay, it's the perfect size, perfect length, and it's just so great. And you can wear it with or without a pom-pom. I'll show you a picture at the end of the video with a pom-pom. As I show you, I left a little bit of a hole at the top so I could put a removable pom-pom in there, and I'll show you that in the video. Okay, so there you have it, my friend. Isn't it pretty? Such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful beanie. And I love it. So I hope you do too. So please join me in this tutorial. I used my J hook, 5.75 millimeter hook, to make this. But you use the hook of your choice, because I tell you the measurements and it goes on measurements and you'll figure it out. So use the hook of your choice and the yarn of your choice, and let's make ourselves a beanie. All right, so for this video, you're going to need to separate your yarn, okay? So I've got my Karen Colorama Ogo, and I have separated it into colors. Actually, I have made a infinity scarf that I just posted as well. I'm using 2 of these Ogo, and this yarn that is right here is what's left from the infinity scarf, okay? So I'm going to just use these colors, and I'm going to make a beanie out of it. And if I need to dip into another Ogo donut, I will let you know, but I'm hoping that this will be enough to finish the one hat. Okay, so I have to choose which color I'm going to use for my band, and I'm going to choose the darker one. Okay, so I'm going to take this, and for this for the infinity scarf, I just let the color flow as it came. Okay, because you're going to twist the scarf, you're not going to see the color breakage in it, like where it changes color. But for the beanie, I then took the rest of the yarn and I separated the colors, because I don't want the break in the middle of a row. I can tolerate it on a infinity scarf that's going to be twisted and you can't tell, but not on a beanie. Okay, so we're going to make a slip knot. I'm going to use my J hook, 5.75 millimeters. Make a slip hook. Make a slip knot on your hook. Then we're going to very loosely chain enough chains so that this goes around the circumference of your head, okay? So I'm going to keep chaining like this, yarning over, pull it through the loop that's on my hook until this fits nicely around my head, okay? So I'm going to measure that out, but you measure it out for your head, but the average size would be a 22-inch circumference, okay? So measuring this from this end to this end without stretching it, 22 inches. So that's what my goal is, and then I'm going to put it around my head to see if it's big enough, okay? So you go ahead and do the same thing, and I'll see you back when you're done. All right, my friends, there we have it. We have a chain of 58 60 chains measured 22 inches for me, but then I put it around my head and I felt like it was a little bit big, so I took out 2 chains and it's now 58. You have to make sure you have an even number of chains for this pattern, okay? So no odd numbers, just an even number. So for me, with a 5.75 millimeter J hook, I did 58 chains, okay? So from there, we're going to begin our pattern. All right, so 58 chains fits around my head, but I need a turning chain. So now I'm going to add 2. So I'm going to go back to that 60 actually. Never thought of that till after I took them out. So now those next 2 chains are my turning chain. So I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to go into my 3rd chain from the hook. 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to do a double crochet. Yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Then we're going to yarn over, go into the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, and go through 2. That's a double crochet. One more, next chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, and go through 2. We are going to do a double crochet all the way down. 1 double crochet into each chain. Okay? We're going to make our brim with front post, back post, double crochet. I love the look of that. It's so sweet. So nice. Okay? And so we're going to double crochet into every chain all the way down. And when we get to the end, I will see you back. Make sure you don't twist your chain. Your foundation row, you want to make sure it's nice and flat. You don't want to twist it and have it all wonky like that. Make sure it stays flat and go all the way down, putting a double crochet in each chain. Okay? All right, friends, have fun. I'll see you in a minute. All right, so there we have our beautiful chain. And then our row of double crochets. They look absolutely beautiful. Loving it. I'm at the end here. I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2, and then I'm going to turn my work. So in this very first double crochet right there, not this, we're not going to count this as a double crochet. This is our chain 2, okay? We're going to go into this very first double crochet and we're going to do a front post double crochet. So you're going to yarn over, you're going to go in behind, come back out the front, yarn over, bring it through. So fun to do. I love doing this stitch. Yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, and go through 2. That's a front post double crochet. In that very next double crochet, we're going to do a back post. So yarn over, go in from the back, come up to the front, go around that double crochet, yarn over, pull it through. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, and go through 2. So let me just show you here. For a front post, you're going from the front to the back and underneath your stitch like this. Then you're going to work your double crochet. For your back post, you're going to go behind and in front, just like that, okay? So from behind, the front post goes from the front to the back post goes from the back to the front, okay? I'm going to just hopefully show you that again. So now we're going to go into the next one as a front post. Yarn over, go from the front to the back and out the other side, yarn over, bring it through and up, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Now in the next one, yarn over, go from behind, in front, yarn over, pull it through, lost it, pull it through, you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull it through 2, yarn over, pull it through 2. And we're getting a ribbed look on there. Once we get to the end, you'll see it's so beautiful, okay? So now we're gonna do a front post. Yarn over, front to back, bring it up, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, back post. Yarn over, bring it through, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, and go through 2. We're going to alternate front post, double crochet, back post double crochet all the way to the end. Okay, front post and back post. Oops, I think I missed a... and back post. Front post. Helps if you have the slack on your ball. If you're fighting with your end of your ball, it makes it harder. And back post. Bring it through, up. You got 3 loops on your hook. Go through 2, go through 2. That's what it's gonna look like. Okay, isn't that pretty? So you're gonna keep going till you get to the end of your row. Front post, then back post, front post, then back post. Take your time. Enjoy the process. If it's a new stitch for you, don't give up. Keep going because we all started somewhere, okay? And it does get easier. So keep going and I'll see you when you're done. All right, we made it to the end. And in that, so this is our chain. This is the last double crochet that I did a back post on. So now I'm going to just yarn over and I'm going to do a double crochet into the top of that chain 2. Okay? Double crochet. Then we're going to chain 2 and we're going to turn our work. We're going to do 1 more row of front post, back post. Okay? The last one that we did was a back post, but when you turn it around to the other side, it looks like a front post. So if we want to continue that same ridge there, so we're going to start with a front post. We're going to go that first one again, front post double crochet, just like what we did on the last row. And then a back post double crochet. And you know, because these ones are more prevalent in the front and these next ones are in the back. Okay, so that's how you can tell. If you're thinking, okay, which one do I do? That's how you determine it. That's a front post. Okay, that next one is way hidden back there, so I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a back post on that one. Okay, and you're going to finish that, and that way it keeps our ribbing the same. So we're going to finish that all the way down the line, and when you get to the end, then we will change. We will do something different. So get to the end and I'll see you back. Okay, so I'm almost at the end. I'm going to do a back post double crochet, and then I'm going to double crochet into the top of that chain 2, just like so. Okay, so I have finished my rib, which I love. I think it looks great. Let me just measure it for you. It's 2 inches. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, we want our beanie to be 9 inches tall. Okay, so we're going to begin this next pattern. We're going to do it for 7 inches. And if you want it to be longer, then you would just go as long as you want to go. It's a 2-row repeat. So we're going to begin it. I'm going to actually take this last double crochet back to the last 2 loops because I'm going to change colors. I'm going to give that a little snip. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab this lighter color. You can do whatever color order you want. And because I'm finishing up one of my second ogo that I used for my scarf, I don't have all the colors here. I might have to dip into a next one. But if you're just using one ogo to do this and you haven't made the scarf, you'll have plenty of yarn in all the colors. So you can choose how you want to do your colors. I'm going to change after every 2 rows, okay? So I just joined my new color. So all you did is, instead of finishing off your last double crochet with that first color, you're going to yarn over and pull in the new color, okay? And then you're going to chain 2, turn your work, and right in that next double crochet space, so not this one that's at the base of your double crochet, but the next one, you're going to put a double crochet. And you're going to double crochet all the way down the row, okay? 1 double crochet. I'm going to put this back here. 1 double crochet in each double crochet. Now, if you have a hard time telling which one it is, because there's one right there where the front post is, then back there is the second one. Look up at the top and just go underneath your V's, okay? So then I know that there's one. There's another one. But you just know you're going to go right above the front post and right above the back post, right above the front, right above the back. And you do 1 double crochet in each of those stitches all the way across the row. This is the first row of your 2-row repeat. So easy, but so beautiful. It's going to be just such a nice beanie. You're going to love it. Okay. As I was doing the infinity scarf, I got the idea that, man, it would be so nice to do a beanie that would match the scarf. Okay, because it's going to have like little squares in it that, you know, are open. It's not a closed kind of like a solid kind of stitch of a beanie. It might not be as warm as some of your beanies, but hey, you know what? It's a fashion statement. And it's great for those days when it's not quite so cold. You'll see what I mean when we get to the second row. It's great for those days when it's not quite so cold, but you still want to have something over your ears, and you still want to keep your hair out of your face from the wind. It's a perfect beanie for that. And you know what? With this Oko yarn, it's pretty thick, so I still think regardless it's going to be warm. So you just keep going all the way down the line, making a double crochet in every stitch, and I will see you when you get to the end, okay? All right, so we made it to the end. We're going to make sure we don't miss that loop in the chain. So we're going to yarn over, go into that second chain from on our chain 2, and we're going to do a double crochet. Okay, then we're going to chain 2, turn our work, and we are going to begin row 2. Okay, so this chain here belongs to this little loop right there, so we're going to miss that one. We're going to yarn over and double crochet into the next one, and then we're going to chain 1. Then we're going to skip 1 and double crochet into the next, and chain 1. Skip 1, double crochet and chain 1 into the next. Okay, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1 into the next. And that is the pattern that we're getting. So you understand what I say when I say that there's a little bit of holes in there, so it's not quite as warm, but it's so pretty, so pretty. Okay, so you're going to keep doing that. You're going to skip 1, then you're going to double crochet and chain 1 into the next. Okay, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1. Do that all the way down to the end, and I'll meet you when we get there. All right, so I have 1 more double crochet left right there, and then I have my chain space. Okay, so I did my double crochet, chain 1, and I'm going to double crochet into that next, into the top of the chain. Now it's a little bit different than what we do with the infinity scarf, because the infinity scarf, we have 2 double crochets on one side and 2 on the other side, okay? And that gives it a nice edging. But when we have our beanie, we don't need to do that. We need to, these 2 will be the back, okay? And this one is going to just follow the pattern. So now that we have that done, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to back that up again just to get the 2 loops in there, because I'm going to change colors. After every 2 row repeats, I'm going to change color. So I'm going to grab this one here. Okay. And we're going to hold that old tail behind with our finger and grab the new one as well. And then we're going to yarn over and we're going to finish off that double crochet. Then we're going to chain 2, turn our work, and we are going to repeat those 2 rows. So we are going to skip this first one, because that's this first loop there is what joins this chain 2. So we're going to yarn over and we're going to go into that square and we're going to double crochet. Again, this is a little bit different than the pattern from the infinity scarf, because we're joining it in the back and we don't want a thick ridge of just double crochets. Okay, we want our pattern to make sense. So we've gone into the square, then we've gone into the top of that double crochet. We're going to go into the square. Once I get my yarn untangled here, into the square, then into the top of the double crochet, right into that square, into the top of the double crochet, and we're going to do double crochets all the way down the row, just like this. And that will repeat this first row here, okay? And when we get to the end, we're going to, I'll meet back with you and we'll do our second row together, and then I'll set you free, okay? All right, so you can see how beautiful this is. Oh, it's just so gorgeous, okay? And now I'm going to go into the top of that chain. If you don't go into the top of the chain, you have an off-sided side, okay? A lopsided side. So you gotta always make sure you go into the top of that chain 2, finish with a double crochet, okay? I'm gonna chain 2, and I'm gonna turn my work. And now we're gonna do our squares. All right, so we're gonna double crochet, not into this first one that's at the base of our stitch, but into the next one. Double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, all the way to the end. And that, my friends, is our 2-row repeat. Isn't it just like brilliant? I'm just loving it. Now I'm going to just show you here that one row from, or 2 rows is 1.5 inches, okay? So with my tension and the way I'm doing it, 2 rows, so I'm going from the top of the white there to the bottom there, is exactly 1.5 inches. I need 9 inches, so what would that be? That would be 6 2-row repeats. So no, that wouldn't be, because I have to add my brim, okay? My brim is 2 inches, okay? So we're going to do 5 2-row repeats, okay? So this is considered 1 2-row repeat. Then this is going to be 2, then 3, then 4, then 5. And when you get to that place, come back and see me. Okay, my friends, this literally could be one of the fastest beanies I've ever made with crochet. But I've got 5 rows as well as my, or 5 of my pattern, 2-row pattern, as well as my ribbing at the bottom. And I'm sitting at 8.5 inches, okay? Which is probably perfect, because I need to end with this double crochet row, okay? We don't want to end with this because we've got to do some gathering at the top. So now I'm going to stick with this same color actually, and I'm going to do 1 more row of double crochet, okay? I left my crochet hook upstairs. How in the world, why in the world did I do that? But it's the same thing that we've been doing. So I've got my ribbing at the bottom, then I've got 5 rows of patterning, so 5 rows of, or 10 rows actually it is, but it's 2 rows per pattern repeat. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm going to, which is 10 rows in total, but I'm going to now do 1 more row of just straight double crochet, and then I'll see you back, okay? All right, so I added the, let me see if I can get that glare out of here. I added the extra row, and I'm gonna see where I'm at here. I'm exactly 9 inches. Exactly. So, you know, again, my friends, you don't have to use this 5-weight Ogo yarn because unless you find it on clearance somewhere, or I don't know if Amazon still has it, but I know that it's discontinued, which makes me so sad because it's so beautiful. But you can use any 5-weight yarn if you want to follow exactly the same weight and rows that I have. Or you can use your favorite 4-weight yarn. You can make this a solid color. You can use your scrap yarn and just change colors every pattern repeat. And, you know, you just gotta, when you do your foundation row, you just gotta make it so that it's 22 inches long, or whatever fits around your head, and in multiples of 2. And then you work your way up until you get 9 inches. So it really doesn't matter what yarn you use. That's the beauty of this pattern. You can just make it your own, okay? So I am at the end here, and I'm going to cut this off, and I'm going to put it through the loop. I should have cut it longer because I'm going to use that to sew, but that's okay. And then you're going to just look for the right and the wrong side. Really, you've been turning it every row, so there really is no right or wrong side except for the ribbing. Because when you look at the bottom of the ribbing, you see this nice edging right here. That's the front. If I was to turn it around, that's the back of the edging. So I want this to be the inside, okay? So what you're gonna do, okay, if we're calling this the front of the ribbing, and this is the first row of our double crochet, and that's the right side too. So this is the side we want to have on the outside. So we're gonna put the right sides together, just like that. Okay? And yeah, silly me, I did cut that too short. I was not paying attention because I was talking to you. But I'm going to still start with it, and then I will just show you what I'm going to do, and then I'll add and get it right the next time, okay? So let's just move my camera down. All right, so with our right sides together, we're going to just put our side together like that. And yes, you can make this in the round if you like, so then you don't have to join. But this is just how I chose to do it. So I'm going to just join that like that. And then I'm just going to go back and forth, just like this, picking up a stitch on either side. Very simple way to seam it closed, okay? And I'm going to do this all the way down. See, nothing to it. Just making sure you get 2 strands on either side so that it has a nice seam. 2 strands meaning you don't want to just pick up one like that, because then you'll have a little hole in there. So you want to get underneath both strands, just like so. And you're going to go all the way down, and then you're going to tie it off and hide your end. Okay? So very soon I'm going to have to add a little piece, but that's okay. It's very easy to do. Okay? So keep going, sew that all the way down, tie it off at the end, and then see me back, okay? All right, so I have that all sewn together, and you're not going to see this because it's on the inside. You could have changed it at the brim to the dark brown color, to whatever color your brim is, if that bothers you. But this is going to be hidden, so we're okay. Gonna go back. I'm gonna cut that off. I'm going to hide these 2 that I tied on, and then I'll see you back. I've got that seam done. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the top, and I'm going to thread my needle with another of the same color of yarn, okay, as the top rows, and we're going to gather it. So I'm going to go through that stitch, into the other one, back and forth, just like this, all the way around. Very, very simple. Okay. So back and forth through each of these stitches, top stitches, just so we have a gathering yarn. Doot, 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 doot. Okay, so I'm going to do that same thing all the way around. Just between those, underneath those stitches, going back and forth, gives me a row for gathering. And I'm almost done. Such a fun beanie to make. You know, again, pull out all your scrap yarn that you have, put the colors together that match, and go ahead and make yourself a pile of these, because they're fun to make, they're beautiful, and they're quick. We all love a quick project, don't we? I mean, I love the projects that take time too, like I really do. I think there's beauty in those projects, obviously, too, but we all love a good project that we can do quickly and have it look like beautiful, as though we've taken a long time to do it. This is one of those very, very pretty hats. Okay, so I'm almost at the end. Again, this is the inside of my work. There we go. Now I'm going to take those 2 and I'm going to cinch them. And as I do so, I'm going to take my thumb and just smooth out this rim, so that all the stitches are smooth. And I'm going to pull this as tight as I can without breaking it, because trust me, friends, well, this is a 5-weight yarn, so it doesn't break as easily as the 4-weight, but you still want to be careful. So you're going to close that up as much as you can, just like that. See, yeah, you could hear that. And then I'm going to just put this yarn on my needle again, and I'm going to just go around the top row here. Smooth it out with my hands. Just get under there, under those stitches with my needle, and pull. It's a little bit tricky, but you can do it because it's tight. Get under those stitches and pull. And you're going to just keep going around and around, reinforcing it like this until you have your circle closed, okay? Doesn't take too much time or too much effort, but you just want to make sure that you're catching those very far rows. See how that's closing? Okay, so I'm going to keep going around until I have that tied off and tight. And then I'm going to tie it to this one and hide my ends. Okay, so go ahead and do that and I'll see you back. All right, there we go. I've got it a little bit of an opening there, but I'm going to leave it like that because I'm going to put removable pom-pom on here. I'm going to show you. And I'll leave the link in the description box below. So you just click that little word more. And I'll leave the link as to where you can order these pom-pom holders that I'm going to show you in just a second here. But there we go. I love it. I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Yes, you see this, but that's on the inside, so we're not going to worry about that. Okay, this is a beautiful, beautiful beanie. I'm going to put it on, show you what it looks like, and I'll be right back with you, my friends. All right, so before I show you what it looks like on, I'm going to show you this pom-pom little gadget that I got. Renda Weidler is a subscriber to my channel, and her brother Sam make these, and you can order them from her. And again, I'll put the link down in the description box below. And if you're interested in those, you can see her about the, or message her about those. Okay, so we're going to take our pom-pom. We're going to take this little gadget, we're going to put it inside that little loop of our pom-pom. Then we're going to just wrap it around. Okay, I just do it once or twice, but you can do it 3 times if you can. It's up to you how many times you want to put it around, but twice is enough. Okay, and then you'll see that there's a little on the underside here. You can see there's a rough textured side. Both sides have rough texture actually. The one side has a little bit more, so I always put that towards the pom-pom so that when I bend this up and put it in my hat, it wants to spring back, which is a great thing because that's what you want it to do in your hat. Then that scratchy side is against your hat and it'll stay in place a little bit better, okay? So we're going to take this. We're going to squeeze it like that. We're going to pop it into the top of that little hole that we left. Push it really hard. Grab it with your other hand underneath, okay? Then push it up until that elastic comes through, and then it just opens like that, and it holds your pom-pom in place. And there you have a beautiful pom-pom that's removable on your hat, okay? So I love these pom-pom makers. If you don't want to order them, and I think you can only order them if you're from the States, you'll have to message her. I don't want to answer because I'm not sure if she worked something out for Canada yet, or other countries. But if you can't get these, click on the videos on my channel and scroll down, and I have a video there of removable pom-pom holders that I make out of a plastic cutting board that I get at the Dollarama. So you can find that. It's a cheap way to make removable pom-pom holders that works absolutely wonderfully well, and it's good too. Okay, so there you have it, my friends. There's the pom-pom on this beanie. I love it. I think it looks great. And again, can be removed at your leisure. Okay. Okay, here it is. Isn't it pretty? Love it. I love it. I just think it's so cute. I love the coloring. I'm going to come up real close so you can see the patterning. guys, it's just so cute. I love it. I hope you do too. So thanks again for joining me in this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you make yourself one. I really hope you just take your hook and your yarn and you make yourself a nice little beanie, okay? You can add the pom-pom to it and it looks beautiful as well. You can see that in the picture following this little this little clip. And just have fun. So thanks again for joining me. Please hit that like button. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And have just the most fabulous day. See you soon, my friends.